Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the new Civivi Baby Banter Crossbar, which is really cool. You guys probably are familiar with Ben Peterson. What is up, guys, right? Remember the days? Ah, man. But anyways, this knife, actually, I've had the standard version, the standard liner lock version for a long time. And for, actually quite a while, this was my dedicated travel knife, just because it was so small. And for me, it was, with being a knife on the smaller side, which is typically what I don't like, it was actually very easy for me to manipulate. I like the little choke up spot. And truthfully, I just like Ben, so maybe there's a little bit of bias there. But this was very easy for me to travel with. Admittedly, I would forget that it was in my pocket periodically, so there is that with it. But they have made this a little bit, depending on who you ask, you could say a little more premium, right? Upgraded a couple of things. It is more expensive with the crossbar lock. I'm going to give some quick thoughts on it. I think ultimately it's going to come down to preference. But there are some cool little things here to consider. So these are in a family. There's the Baby Banter, there's the Banter, there's the big one from Wee Knives, which I can't remember if is still available. And then there's, more or less premium versions, especially with a medium-sized one. There's even some blade shapes. So I'll try and make the link down in the description lead to as many different versions of it as possible so you guys can check them all out. It does help my channel when you use those things, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and thanks to Civivi for sending this, sending this in for review. I'm going to try and speed through specs here because there's really this isn't a very complicated knife, right? Overall length, it's still tiny, 5.5 inches. Blade length is 2.35 inches. Cutting edge is about 1.85. This makes it especially in the United States, it makes it very, very legal in many, many places. I don't think there's much of a reason to do any like super-sized size comparison, so I'm going to do some smaller ones. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. Here it is up against the Spyderco Para 3 and the Ontario Rat Model 2. Here it is up against the Demco Shark Cub, which is my current favorite travel knife. Even though I think the blade length on the Shark, this is my current favorite EDC, truthfully. I think the blade length on this guy might make it illegal in 1 or 2 states. I'm not sure. I rarely have trouble with that. And then do we have another one here that might be a good? How about up against the CJRB Pyrite? There you go, the standard version of it. And then maybe the Bug Out. Is that a good idea? Okay. And then finally, just the original Baby Banter. It's exactly the same outside of the scales now being contoured. And truthfully, no, I'm wrong. This new one is actually slightly longer. And I'll tell you, I can tell. We just put the scales up against each other here, and you can see, I'm trying to get them to lay flat. You can see if we line up the very top right here and then look at the bottom, it's actually slightly longer. Interesting. I wonder why that is, but okay. It doesn't feel any different outside of the contouring and the fact that this is now aluminum. So let's go ahead and weigh it versus the old one. Now, it's important to know that these also come, these crossbar lock versions also come in micarta. So they're going to weigh a little less than the aluminum one. I think it's trivial considering this is a 2.3 ounce knife and the original in G10 is a 2 ounce. I mean, if that matters to you, then there you go. But I feel like for most people, that's just not going to matter. Hardware check. Let me get out my tools. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. Is the pivot a T10? I doubt it. I don't know why I'm thinking that all of a sudden. No, I'm just being stupid. T8, almost certainly. And then T8 hardware. So yeah, there you go. You'll have T8 hardware here, and it looks like a T6 screw for the filler tab, which is fine, and the pocket clip screws. Easy to take apart. If you've never taken apart a crossbar locking knife, it can be a little frustrating the first go through, but it's far from impossible. As long as you have the right tools for the job and a place to put your hardware, and honestly, I would tape the blade off on a crossbar lock. I would tape the blade off in any disassembly just to be safe. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's measure the blade stock thickness and see if there's any difference between this current one and the older one, which admittedly I have not checked yet. 100 and, no, I'm sorry, not 100, it's 87 thousandths. Can you imagine? So a knife this size is 187 thousandths, that'd be a chunk. It's the same. They're exactly the same. Okay, so is there any other major differences? The pocket clip appears to be exactly the same. In hand, they're both comfortable because you can choke up here. I mean, it's very rare that I've found a situation with this guy that I need. This looks like I have used it like into oblivion. Actually, no, it really hasn't been used all that much. At one point, I poked it into a can, and at another point, I think I had slid it across the my garage floor to my brother or my dad who just needed to cut something real quick. So this looks like it's been tormented. It has not. It's just got a lot of marks and things on it, but it's still the factory edge. I don't think I've ever even touched this up, and I bet you anything, it has no problem. Yeah, this is totally fine. So, if you're looking at this and thinking that it looks like it's been a dedicated, it really hasn't, admittedly. It's still been very casually used. It's just got it's just got some marks and things on it. I didn't find many uses to choke up, but that doesn't mean that other people will. Right? A lot of times when I get this knife out, I kind of hold it like this or just make little quick cuts and put it back in. This isn't anywhere near what I'd call a hard use capable knife. It's a very thin liner lock. I think it's, from my perspective, designed for just quick, simple cuts, nothing continuous. I don't think this would be a comfortable tool to break down cardboard boxes for long periods of time or process wood or rope, anything like that. But then again, this isn't the knife that I would ever choose for that, so I've never really done it, This is kind of just like a simple, straightforward, small, lightweight, compact EDC knife, right? Average Joe kind of person who just doesn't really want to carry a big, bulky knife because they don't need it, but they still want to carry something kind of fun. The biggest upgrades here are the contoured aluminum. The micarta seems okay. If you like micarta, go for it, but I love the aluminum, and if this ends up being really popular, then they'll do lots of different colors here. As somebody who doesn't really like purple, this is kind of nice, admittedly, and the milling is also really, really nice. So it's still very easy to get at. Something that I am bothered by with smaller knives is that I don't like having to adjust my hand out of the normal comfort zone to get into the right position to flick it. I still have to do that with the Baby Banter, but less because of the positioning of the thumb studs and the frame being, I guess, slightly wider than what you would expect a knife like this to be. The Omega Spring tension, I think, is just right. It's not too heavy. I like a heavy Omega Spring tension, but not on a smaller knife because it's already kind of awkward bracing it against my palm. I don't want it to be too heavy here, but it does exactly what I want it to do. The black coating here is nothing special. If you have used a Civivi knife before, this will mark up like crazy. Actually, I think I have where did it go? Well, I don't know where that one went. I have another one from Civivi that has the black coating that got marked up like crazy. Actually, from doing the same thing. It was cutting into an aluminum can. Not that you need to do that really with a pocket knife, but it won't take much. It's not like a DLC or a PVD or anything like that. Truthfully, I think a can would probably mark up a PVD pretty well. But anyways, it'll wear off fairly quickly. Nitro V, I like Nitro V. I can't say that I notice a ton of difference personally as a casual user between something like Nitro V and 14C28N, though people seem to prefer 14C28N when they can get it. I don't personally. For me, it doesn't really matter. It might matter for you. So I think Nitro V is a good choice. It tends to make budget knives cost a little bit more than when they use 14C28N. So at least for that reason, maybe I would have preferred 14C28N. The blade is it's just incredibly friendly. It's not a pokey blade. It's not necessarily the sliciest blade in the world, but it does do a good job, and the edge is pretty darn thin. You don't have an enormous amount of cutting edge, but you've got enough to get most tasks done. There are obviously tasks that would require a longer blade, but I feel like for most people, this will do it. Choking up is very, very comfortable. Again, not a lot of situations where you'll find yourself, if you're an average Joe like me, in that situation, but you might if you want to do some little detail work, you do a little bit of carving, something like that, or you're trying to precision scrape something, maybe, I don't know. But it's there and it is comfortable. And I do like that. I find it that I gravitate towards that even when I don't need it. The contouring of the scales is nice, and I do appreciate that, and it gives it a much more premium feel, as it should, because this is more expensive than this guy. And if you don't care about that, then and you're looking at these, then just go with the cheaper one because they're definitely still available. We do have mounting positions on both sides for the pocket clip, which is good because the locking system itself is ambidextrous, so the pocket clip positions should also be ambidextrous. Usually I have a rule, personally, against the pocket clip running past the 50% line because I say the bill like digs into your hand, and it does, but again, this type of knife, I'm probably not going to be I'm not going to be, using this for these hammer style or hammer grip style tasks. So even though it does, like if I was forced into a situation where I had to use this, which you might, I can feel it, but it's not bad. Honestly, the clip is pretty good. In and out of the pocket, even with sweatpants here, I can get it in and out, no problem. So I'm happy they nested. I'm happy they recessed the screws. I think the clip is good. Like the backspacer, there's a little lanyard hole there. Lockup is completely and totally solid. Minimal stick. It's a crossbar, so it'll come and go. No pivot lash, nice and smooth in here. It does run on bearings, which actually I'll demonstrate here. Nice and smooth. I don't know if we can actually see in there, but I'm sure you trust me. And then there is milling for weight reduction, which I guess that's good. That may have saved an ounce there. I don't know. There's a lot of good here for people who like smaller knives. And, if you're left-handed and you're like, I'm glad they put a lefty mounting position on the baby Banter. But I'd still rather have, like, the locking system that I guess accommodates, for me, the same way that it does a right-handed person. Or you just prefer a crossbar lock. There you go. If you like the baby Banter and wish that it felt a little more luxurious, great. You've got this here. It's nice. It's good to go. I want to see this same treatment like the contouring and the crossbar lock, and maybe they've already started to do that. I want to see that in the medium-sized one, and I feel like there's another one in between there. I also want to see it in the larger-sized one. Now, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they've already made a premium big Banter, and I just didn't realize it. I mean, it was already semi-premium. It was like 20 CV. Make a budget version of that through Civivi and put the aluminum scales on it. And give us that crossbar lock with the same size. Like, I would love that. This is fine. And it's, truthfully, if you made it to the end of this video, generally speaking, it's recommendable, but the price is just up there. They did the contour texture. A lot of people they're just not going to accept it because small knife should be small money, right? Sometimes that's all the logic that people are going to apply. And while I do think this is slightly high, it's not like they can just charge $20 for this because it's small. It's not how that works. I think they want $72 for the aluminum and $68 for the micarta with the standard baby Banter. I think the least expensive version of this is $60. Admittedly, to begin with, I thought this was kind of high. Truthfully, this knife probably shouldn't be more than $50, and this one probably shouldn't be more than $60. But I don't think anybody's gonna weep too hard over it. You just really, it's for people who really, really want this specific size knife. So, in that sense, yeah, I think, go ahead. It's a little overpriced, but I think it's good. I think it's just fine. And we didn't really look at it, but the blade is centered, right? It has all the stuff you'd want. I just want to see this come to the medium and large size ones. And if I'm not aware of it, then let me know. But I want to see aluminum and 14C28N or aluminum and Nitro V contoured and textured like this, with the medium-sized one and especially with the larger one. Crossbar lock. I think they did a crossbar of both versions, but if I'm not mistaken, they just haven't quite done these scales, and I think that would look really cool. With them being aluminum, they could definitely anodize them in like every color under the sun, which would be really neat. And if they could keep, if they could keep all of them under $75 to keep them in budget territory, that'd be great. But with this small one being $72, I highly doubt that they would do that. If they did, it would probably be, in the $80 or even $90 territory, which at that point, it's like you got to upgrade something else. So I know we're getting really demanding with this stuff, and this one maybe has a slightly higher price tag because Ben's name is on it. And I like Ben. He's a good guy. I just, honesty, it's just kind of a high price tag on it, but it's good. It does exactly what you want it to do. And I think it does what it does better than a lot of the little teeny tiny knives in the knife market. As somebody who doesn't like teeny tiny knives, this is the one that I always say, yeah, but I kind of like that one, So that's pretty much it. Somehow I still managed to turn this into a 15-minute video. So sorry about that. But yeah, not anything to beat down doors over, but I'm going to put it in my Cheap Knives I Like playlist with a little asterisk there saying the price is a bit high, but it's still good to go. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.